Hi everybody, welcome to another literacy lesson. Today's piece of work is the piece that we are expecting everybody to send into the class email, so that's just something to bear in mind before we start our learning. Make sure you've got your best listening ears on and you try your hardest with this piece of work. Okay, let's start off with our vocab blast. Make sure you've got everything ready that you're going to need. So today we are going to look at some new words. Now we looked at them briefly yesterday, but not in a lot of detail. This is a word from last week. So we're going to start off with this one and see if we can remember what this word is. This is a type of tree that usually grows by the water, and there's a picture of it. What's that tree called? If you think you can remember, shout it out. Fantastic. It's a willow tree. Well done. Now, the next word that we're going to look at is bough. I'll say it and then you can say it. Bough. Bough. Fantastic. Now, bough is the main branch of a tree. So you can see there that there's a tree trunk and it splits off into two boughs and they split off into another two boughs. The bits at the end where the leaves are, they are the branches. So this is a bough. What's that word? Bough. Fantastic. The next word is branch. I'll say it and then you can say it. Branch. Branch. Fantastic. A branch is a part of a tree that grows from the trunk or the bough. So it can grow out of the trunk or it can grow out of one of the boughs. And it's the bit at the end. Can you see where like the leaves would be or the flowers? It's the bits at the end, the smaller bits are a branch. Fantastic. And the last word for today is lily pad. I'll say it and then you can say it. Lily pad. Lily pad. Fantastic. A lily pad is a round floating leaf of the water lily. And there's the water lily, that pink flower. And those are its leaves, the big round leaves. And we call those lily pads. What are they called? Fantastic. I've covered those words up. Let's see if we can remember what they are. This is the main branch of a tree. We call it the bough. Well done. This is a part of a tree that grows from the trunk or the bough. It's a smaller bit. What's it called? A branch. Well done. And the last thing, these round floating leaves that belong to the water lily. What are they called? Lily pads. Well done. So now that we know what all of those words mean, we are going to match them up to the correct pictures. You can pause the video here and write the words and draw a picture to go with them, or you can keep listening and we'll talk about each one at a time. Fantastic. So the first picture I have is of a tree by some water. Is that a lily pad, a willow, a bough, or a branch? Fantastic. It's a willow. My next picture is of part of a tree. It's got a big thick trunk and then these other big bits that are sticking out of it. Is that a lily pad, a bough, or a branch? Fantastic, it's a bough. There it is, the big part of a tree. This one, is this a lily pad or a branch? Fantastic. This one is a branch. So these are the smaller bits that come out of the tree, which means the last one is a lily pad. The big round leaves, they are lily pads. Fantastic. Great start to today's lesson, everybody. Okay, I want you to have a think back to yesterday. What can you see in this picture? What things can you see in this picture? Can you describe them with an expanded noun phrase? I want you to tell somebody in the room any of the things that you can see in this picture and describe them to that person. Or you could write a list of the different things you could see with some adjectives and expanded noun phrases in there, describing the things that you can see. Pause the video, off you go. Fantastic. So you might have said, I can see the beautiful blue sky. I can see the murky, dark water. I can see the tall, rough tree. I can see the round, floating lily pads. And I'm sure you came up with lots of other ideas as well. So today we are going to imagine that we're stepping into this picture as if we're walking into it in real life. Whilst we step into that picture, I want you to think about your senses. What can you see? We've talked about that a little bit already. What can you hear? And what can you smell? Now, all of those things make up the amazing setting for a story. So whenever we write a story, a good setting will include things that can be seen, heard, and smelled. So it's talking about those different senses. I'm going to play some noises for you that are happening in this scene. And I want you to think about what you can see, hear, and smell. You might want to make notes about the different things that you can see on your piece of paper and make some notes about the different things you can hear and some notes about the different things you can smell. Or you might want to tell somebody in the room about the different things that you can hear, see, and smell. Let's play this music. I can hear water trickling. I can hear birds tweeting. What do you think I might be able to smell? I'm looking at that picture and I can see some flowers. Maybe I can smell those. Fantastic. So if you couldn't quite hear me over the sounds of the nature in that video, I was saying that I could hear the water trickling, I could hear the birds tweeting, and I was trying to think about what I'd be able to smell. I was picturing that the only thing that I could see was the picture and the only thing I could hear was the noise. So what could I smell? And I noticed that there were some flowers and I thought, oh, maybe I can smell those. Maybe you've got some different ideas. You can rewind the video and have another listen if you want to. Have a close look at that picture. Make sure that you've either made some notes about what you can see, hear, and smell, or you've told somebody what you can see, hear, and smell. Fantastic. So this is just a few things that I came up with that you might have noticed as well. I could see the water, I could see the sky, I could see a willow tree. I could smell the flowers, I could smell the grass, I could smell leaves. I could hear birds chirping, I could hear water flowing, and I could hear the wind rustling the leaves. I'm sure that you've all come up with some excellent ideas for things that you could see, hear, and smell as well, but these are just a few of mine to help you. Okay. So today's 1-star challenge is to write about the different things that you could see, hear, and smell. The communicating print is on the school website for you to use. You're going to choose what you need to think, what you want to fill these boxes. So the butterfly, what did the butterfly do? Did it crawl? Did it flutter? Did it hop? Was it flowing? Was it flying? Was it soaring? What was it doing? And you need to choose one of those verbs and put it in that box. Don't worry about having to cut and stick. You can always just write the verb. So then you'll have a sentence that says, I could see the butterfly crawled. If that was what the butterfly was doing. Or you might just write, the butterfly crawled. You don't have to write, I could see. So when you've stuck that on, I want you to write the full sentence out with your capital letter and your full stop. You're going to do that for each of these things. The last one talks about smell. You've got different things for smell. We've not got verbs, we've got nouns. So what could you smell? The smell of flowers was everywhere. The smell of grass was everywhere. The smell of leaves was everywhere. choose what you'd like to say, and then write out your full sentence. And I want to see that for all of these things. So that's the 1-star challenge. The 2-star challenge is to write 2 sentences about each of the senses. So write 2 sentences about what you could see, and write 2 sentences about what you could hear, and 2 sentences about what you can smell. To help you, you've got the Communicate in Print frames. These are also on the school website. So if I was you, I would circle the things that I'm going to say. So the beautiful butterfly jumped, crawled, flew, or flowed. Well, I think flew makes the most sense. And then I am going to write out that sentence, remembering my capital letter. And my full stop. When I've done that, I'm going to do it again. You might want to do it with a pencil so you can rub out the choices that you've made. The green frog jumped. And then I'm going to write that. So that's something that I might have seen. I might have seen a butterfly flying. I might have seen a frog jumping. And I'm going to write 2 sentences for what I can see, what I can hear, and what I can smell. So that's your task if you're doing the 2-star challenge. And the last challenge, the 3-star challenge, I want you to write 2 sentences about each sense again. So think about what you can see, hear, and smell. You've got a sentence starter list to help you, and you've got a word map to help you as well. Think about what is in this picture and what they are doing. Think about what the smells are that you can smell. What are the sounds that you can hear? So I'm going to show you how to use that sentence frame to help you. So where the something meets the something. Well, I know that the story is about where the willow meets the water. Where the willow meets the water, and then I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to write about what I can see. Where the willow meets the water. What could I talk about? I don't want to talk about the tree or the water because I've already mentioned it was in my sentence. So maybe I could talk about a caterpillar instead, or a butterfly, or a frog. Where the willow meets the water, a frog. What was the frog doing? So I'm looking for a verb now. The frog Now, I don't like any of the ones on that word map, but that's okay because I can choose a different one. So I'm thinking about what frogs do. So frogs hop, they jump, or maybe he was just resting. Where the willow meets the water, a frog rested on. I'm going to use a lily pad, but I want to make my writing interesting. So I'm not just going to say a lily pad, I'm going to describe that lily pad. I've got some adjectives here that I could use. On a smooth, green lily pad. So where the willow meets the water, a frog rested on a smooth green lily pad. I've talked about what I can see, so now I'm going to write about what I can smell. Or I might mention something else that I can see because I want to see 2 sentences about each sense. So where the willow meets the water, a frog rested on a smooth green lily pad. The sky was a beautiful blue. So that's something else that I can see. Now I'm going to talk about what I can smell. The smell of flowers was, looking at my word mat again to help me, was everywhere. Now, that's just a bit of an idea to help you, okay? Think about what you're writing. Remember, I'm looking for your best work. That's what me and Miss Hamami want to see. And don't forget, this is the work that we're expecting you to send in for your literacy this week, so we want to see that from everybody. Okie dokie, so that's it from me, and I will see you all tomorrow for another literacy lesson. Bye.